All right then. Well, hello everyone. Everyone who wants to watch the podcast anyway. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch the podcast. As you can see, it's slightly different this time. Me and Sean are joined by Robin and Shaggy
Yeah.
and Vic, who is staying around my house right now. Hi.
Oh, me. Hello.
Cheers. Thanks. Right.
Can I point something out here? How come you're the only one that's allowed to wear trousers?
What? I have not said that. Normally I do this in my boxers.
I was
It's
about to say, I was
don't-
like,
I
wait a
don't normally
minute,
stand
James
up.
is wearing trousers.
I
It's a
don't
family
normally stand
show.
up, but because we're all, it's a bit later and we're all having a little drinky while we do this. I thought I'd put some trousers on just in case I decide to stand up or
If you
pass
start
out.
complaining that that fan's off, it's going too hot, I will
No,
smack
it's
you.
fine, it's fine. But yes, so there we are. So what's on the agenda today, Sean? As you always do.
Well,
You do have
as
things?
usual, we have a little list of things to go through. We have got lockdown discussion first, or like
Always.
what's left of lockdown, of course.
Yeah.
Move
What
that
we're
up.
coming out of.
Whatever. There's a news section. We'll talk about various news and current issues right now, and then games and films. Whatever games and films we played
Yep.
and watched, and then some interesting things.
And interesting things, whatever you want to talk about, is what we'll get into. So we'll start off with lockdown stuff now, because it's not really lockdown anymore. But,
Break
yeah.
free
I was
down.
never given a script.
Oh, for God. What? We had this discussion. There is no
Calm down
script.
before the storm up.
Yeah, all James and Sean ever had was a nice piece of paper with information.
Not even that. I think mine's just come down to just writing small notes.
I can assure you, Robin, that it's just like a little piece of paper with headlines, just to overlook
Okay.
the topics. That's
That's
basically
all it
all it
became.
is.
Literally, yes.
Yeah.
So obviously the Welsh, there's been some easing of rules in Wales.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Would you like to run us through a few of those?
I can go through. Well, there was a lot to it because they ended up going through what they've got is like a little action plan, So it's like all in stages and stuff. I got to try and find the thing. But yeah, the most obvious one that came out is that they're hoping to have everything kind of retail and indoor pubs and stuff open by the 3rd of August, which is not that far away when you think about it.
No, it's really not.
So, what's kind of people's thoughts on that? Do you think it's too soon? Do you think it's too late? Do you think?
I think it's still too soon. Like, with a pub across from me and a hairdresser's below, it's definitely, like, not a very, what you consider a hot spot, but there will be chain and effect, or, like, in this area, for one thing.
Definitely.
Well, I think the way it's going is certainly not as scary anymore, which is part of the problem of it just getting out of control. People will just not follow directions. I think if it can be handled correctly, it may not be so bad. But then again, people.
I can
I'm
understand
super
why
sensitive.
they're like actually saying this, because we've apparently had like practically zero cases in the past, which I can definitely see is a cause saying, yeah, let's ease up the rules a bit.
Yeah, I definitely think it's if they were gonna do it, they've chosen the right time. I'll say that much. How about you, Robin? What do you think about this? I know that you've been constantly hoping this happens, so pubs would open again.
The pubs are opening, but the clubs aren't opening, are they? So it's not. I'm
well,
not
no,
fully
yeah, no.
happy yet, am I?
Yeah, true. So
If anything, though, with
You have
the
the clubs,
pubs,
but-
they're probably going to be accepting, what you call it, bookends.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'll
I think that's
probably
what
be
they're
definitely.
doing first. Not sure what they're doing with the calves, though.
It's
Um,
the
well,
same thing with hairdressers. They're doing only bookings and backlogs right now.
Yeah, no walk-ins.
Yeah.
Although my
Yeah.
granddad apparently managed to get his haircut just walking in. He's got like one
Yeah.
attached to like a supermarket, and he's like, yeah, just walked in. The guy was wearing a mask.
Yeah, because out of curiosity, Sean, you've obviously, in England, they've obviously had easing for a lot longer now, as we've discussed on numerous times. What's
Yeah,
kind of
it's-
your experience been with them easing it? Do you think it
Well,
was
the
done
stage-
too early? Or...
Well, the stage you're at is like what we've had for a week now. Almost exactly, because it was Super Saturday last weekend. But I haven't personally been anywhere to like a pub or anything, because I think the local ones near us are still closed anyway. They're only just recently opened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't been to them, but I hear it was kind of mad at the weekend, but it's all right now. I think people are just dealing with it. Like, it's all about getting the economy going again, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I get you. So yeah, here's the actual list, the official one. So on the 11th of July, it's self-catering accommodation. They're hoping to open that. On the 13th of July, they're hoping to get hairdressers, pub gardens, outdoor cafes and restaurants opened. The 20th is playgrounds and community centres. On the 25th, it's going to be campsites. On the 27th, it'll be cinemas, museums and galleries, beauty salons and tattoo parlours. I will definitely be going.
James is going to do straight away.
if I'm assuming that it'll all be like bookings and stuff like that. Like it'll be really, really strict on like, no, you can't just walk in here.
You're not. You're waiting a couple of months to see what happens.
Yeah, see how bad it gets. And then on the 3rd of August, that's when they're hoping to get indoor pubs and restaurants all opened up again. And hopefully by September, you'll have the usual weekend binge fest of everyone getting hammered and throwing up and arguing with a restaurant that they should be allowed to take away when they can't.
My own rules has always been, even before the pandemic, let the idiots try it out first, and if it's safe, then I'll go.
Well, that's what England are doing. We're just the guinea pigs for you.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the only thing I'm missing is the swimming pools and stuff because they're like the last things to open. I think 25th of July for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there anything significantly that everyone's missed going to, like pubs or
I've just made my answer perfectly
Yes.
clear last time, so I don't really need to repeat myself on that.
No.
Shaggy, what have you missed?
Nothing.
My life has not changed.
Conventions. On it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Comic-Con.
Yeah, no, I was gutted that was cancelled for this year. So I was hoping to go to that. What about you?
Work.
Ironically, yeah.
Well, I started work this
No,
last...
genuinely, like,
No.
I find a job I actually love, and I adore the people that I work with. And I even like when customers complain, because it gives me something to complain about later. And also because I like to solve problems, and it's taken away from me. Through
You're
no
just there
fault
at
of
work.
my own.
Suffer for me.
Exactly.
I don't know, I think, and for me, as I've said many times, I think it's just interaction with people outside of like your house, actual being with people, being able to hang out, like whether it's a night out or something, you go out with friends and you can have a drink and socialise, or whether it's going to a tattoo parlour and getting a tattoo, but the stuff we took for granted so easily before now is like a thing that when it comes back, it's like, it's a luxury, we understand, don't take it away again.
Yeah, because I thought I wasn't a people person before this, but I think human beings are just essentially social beings that they need to be around people all the time. I thought I would be alright, but it's like, you do need people.
That thing of like being in a pandemic, people realizing, oh, I missed that. I needed that realization. We get through pandemic. People go back out. They fall back into the system, and then they don't appreciate what they got again. It's just gone as quickly as they appreciated it.
I think that's the worry, isn't it? Is that people are going to take advantage of what's being given to them and they're not going to stick to the rules. And then it's going to cause another spike or something. So I think, as we've said many times, I think it's just be sensible. If you are planning on going out, don't be a dick.
To be honest, I've had
Friday,
more
went
incidents
to
of
coffee,
strangers getting
what was
me.
it? On Monday.
Hmm.
I was walking, and what do I see on the floor? Coffee cups, napkins,
Yeah.
Rubbish.
rubbish.
Yeah, it's
The moment
unfortunate.
they opened the cafes, all rubbish everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
McDonald's.
There's
Not very
actually
nice.
been an increase of dumping and fly tipping in nature reserves and wildlife places since lockdown.
Yeah, it's because like tips have been closed and stuff as well.
Yes.
But they were like one of the first things to open. But it's like 2-hour queues to get into them and stuff. So people are just like, oh, just check out the side of the motorway.
Chuck
Yeah.
it anywhere.
Let's make a new mountain. Oh,
Great! I wonder what diseases are going to develop in this pile for us to catch later on.
yeah.
Radioactive Welsh mice.
That reminded me, I didn't do any research on it at all, but in China there was reportedly a case of bubonic plague.
Yeah,
That's all we need.
Oh, Christ. That's just what we need right
That's
now.
what we needed.
That's
Bring
COVID
it
B.
back.
Thanks, China. First COVID, now bubonic plague.
Here we go again.
Maybe
Of
corona
course,
and
no
bubonic
no
plague
proof.
will actually fight each other.
fighting.
I mean,
Mamma
we'll
Mia
probably
2.
all die in the process, but
No, I'd rather that not happen.
So obviously they tried to start to scare us back into our homes, but now they're trying to incentivize us to go out again. Like Rishi Sunak has announced that there's going to be 50% off meals Monday to Wednesday every week.
Frankie and Benny's are sending me like vouchers and that. It's like, we're preparing to reopen.
Yeah.
Come here and eat
Boris
in your
Johnson's
restaurant.
telling people to go back into their offices even though they're working from home quite adequately because they need to spend money.
I was literally about to mention that, about the fact that Boris obviously telling people that they need to go back to work, they can't stay at home anymore and work from home, that he is massively encouraging them to go back to work. And he's not even confusing people by going, but stay at home if you need to stay at home. It's, no, go back to work, you can go back now as long as you wear a face mask. And I don't know.
I guess the reason behind it is just to try and get people to... Because if you're going to work in London city centre or something, you're going to go and buy a coffee to start the day and you're going to get a sandwich for lunch. Like, all those coffee shops and stuff are really suffering because people are working from home.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So it's trying to get just people to spend money, even though they've been maybe lost their jobs or furloughed or something, and the money is tight for everyone. So it's like, go out and spend it all.
Go out, you don't need money. Yeah, no. How's everyone else feel on that? The fact that they're encouraging people to go back to work now. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think they're doing it too soon? Do you think they're being a bit careless about it?
I think it depends on which job role.
Yeah.
I started work again last week, so.
I was going to say, like, it depends on the person and the type of job. Someone I know just started going back to their work, but that's like in Cardiff and in catering. So it's a bit of a different story because you're like working like catering and hospitality kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, as long as they're following the actual precautions and what have you, I guess it's alright. Just follow the guidelines.
So they're on about making face coverings mandatory soon. I know in Scotland they've got them. You have to wear them in shops, public transport, etc. I think in England it's just public transport. You have to wear them.
Yeah.
But he's on about making them mandatory in all like closed situations and shops and things.
Yeah.
So do you think that's right?
Yes. I think that's a no-brainer, isn't it? It's one of those things of, like, when I, again, going back on that thing of when I went out and hung out with Brad for the 2 days that I've seen him, on the second time we actually went into the indoor market and were like walking around and no one was wearing a face mask. No one cared. No one gave a shit. It was just me and Brad wearing face masks. And it's like, do you still not understand that it's still there? It's not as prevalent, granted, but it's still a thing that could kick off again if you're not careful. And alright, it doesn't protect you, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't wear it because it protects everyone else. Don't be so fucking selfish.
Yeah, like wearing a mask is the most selfless thing you can do at the moment.
Yeah.
It's the most simple, but also the most effective way to stop it spreading.
Yeah.
And it's, essentially free. If you've got stuff that you can cover your face with anyway.
So
Yeah, you can just literally get a thong.
Noticed it because of the situation, but I think I've had more interactions with strangers or just almost collisions, I'll say, in shops or whatever by strangers than I did before the pandemic.
Yeah. Or maybe you just notice it more now.
Yeah, as I said, like maybe it's just because I'm noticing it more, but I don't think so. I've always been pretty notable of when someone is trying to ram a trolley up my
Ass.
Yeah.
You can swear. Have you not watched the
family
podcast?
show.
Me and Sean swear. Well, I say Sean. It's mostly me.
Like literally, I just had flashbacks of this morning of you editing over swear words.
Yeah, it's mostly me.
I don't want to go through that.
You think of a creative sound to put over them.
Yeah.
Very akin to a Vietnam flashback, that was.
Bloody hell.
Have you got any more lockdown specific topics?
I don't know. Anyone else got anything for lockdown? I can't say I blame anyone. I think it's been going on too long.
Yeah,
We're all sick of it.
Yeah, it's getting boring now.
So on to the gossip news. Tabloids.
Yeah.
Tabloid.
Go on, Sean. What have you got?
Well, obviously there's the big Johnny Depp and Amber Heard libel trial that's going on at the moment. To me, it's like airing their dirty laundry in public, and like I don't think it was the right thing to do, possibly for Johnny Depp. I know the Sun called him a wife beater and all these things, and it's not right to have his reputation defaced. But I don't know. It just seems a bit like opening up too much. And a lot of the stuff they're coming out with, like, oh yeah, you used to call it Amber Turd because she pooped on the bed. Like, what? It all seems a bit playground to me.
A lot of it, I think a lot of the stuff that's been leaked, ironically, has been shit that has like, oh, how do I defame the other person? Like, I think that's what it's mostly been. Like, I know Amber Heard, I don't think is going to be an Aquaman 2. I think her character is being replaced. Or the actress playing them.
Oh, is that the cancel culture thing?
I don't know what it is, but I think right now it's kind of neck and neck as well with them. Like, look, because I did do a bit of looking into it because I was interested, and a lot of it is like there's accusations and evidence that Johnny's made, and there's accusations and evidence that Amber has made. So I think they've made the mistake of making it a public thing. It isn't law and like court meant to be confidential until the trial is over. And yet these leaks seem to be happening all the time, and things are coming out that just, I don't know. To me, it just seems like a playground insult episode.
Yeah.
Just, I don't want you being famous anymore because you're a dick, and it just doesn't seem genuine anymore. It seems like they've just sort of carried it on for the sake of carrying it on.
I'm a bit biased. I love Johnny Depp, but his reputation was going to be besmudged anyway. He might as well do it back.
I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts on it? What do you think, Robin?
No comment.
No comment. Jesus, are you part of the trial?
She's on the jury.
Shaggy, what about you? What's your kind of? I know that you're not sort of into this kind of stuff, but you know, hearing about it and whatnot. What's your kind of thought process on it, or do you think it's just ridiculous?
I like Johnny Depp, so. But frankly, I thought the trial was over, but then to hear it again, I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's been ongoing for like four years now, I think. I think the first evidence that came out was something like a face of, like a picture of Amber Heard with a black eye and stuff, and then there was stuff with Johnny Depp, where he had the leaked audio of him being screamed at by Amber while he was like in the middle of a breakdown and stuff. So I don't know. A lot of it.
Johnny Depp is like he's like oversharing a lot of things. He's like saying I took drugs from when I was 11 years old and stuff like that. Yeah. And like kind of admitting all of his faults, so that maybe it's more believable that when he says he didn't beat his wife. Yeah.
I think it was wrong on both sides. I think they've both done wrong.
Yeah, I think I'm more on the side of Johnny, but I don't know.
Definitely a rocky relationship.
I know. There's still a lot of
Unfortunately,
information
though, because of media, you're not innocent until proven guilty. You're guilty until you're proven innocent, and even then, people still don't believe it.
Yeah, it's a disgusting culture we have attuned ourselves to.
But as the public, we lap it up.
But on a little bit of brighter news, on news stuff. Jurassic World Domination. They're still filming it. It's actually going on in the UK now. They're five or 6 days into shooting it. That's still going on. They've actually managed to. I think they spent $5 million on safety protocols and stuff to make sure they could still film. What's kind of your guys' opinions on that? Do you think?
Can I just ask a question? Are they including all the original cast members? Because that's something I heard.
Yeah, no. Well, as far as I know, like Ian Malcolm,
Malcolm
and all that is still in it. They're actually coming back as well to do roles and stuff. So, as far as I know.
I like it.
But what's your guys' thoughts on big blockbuster movies like that still filming during a pandemic? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing?
If they can afford the protective gear and the health and safety, which is pretty much mandatory in the first place in that business, then I see no problem with it.
No. It's just they have to continue at some stage, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Entertainment is just as important as anything else these days. I mean,
otherwise people go mad.
Yeah.
I think a big part in it is like if it was my guess, they're looking at the areas that they need to like film in and see if the hotspot for the pandemic in the first place, and then base it around that of like cost on travel, expenses, actors, and like if it's okay to film there as well. That's my guess.
I don't think this movie requires a mass crowd running from a T-Rex, so it could be safe to do.
Sure.
It's going to be a lot of CGI in that film.
Yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
they've actually got a T-Rex.
Really? I thought they were still
Well, I
going.
didn't think they did.
I think that would
You
be...
can see
I
the
don't
chest
look
too.
at production on Jurassic Park or World in the first place, so I don't know if they're like how much they're actually using in the first
Yeah.
place. So.
yeah. But yeah.
So back on the depressing
Yeah.
note.
Go on, back on the bandwagon.
Oh, Jesus.
So
Hey, we
obviously
have to go
Ghislaine,
through this every bloody week. You can join us for this one.
Ghislaine Maxwell was obviously captured by the FBI the other week. She's like a big player in the Jeffrey Epstein
Yeah.
child abuse saga. And obviously she's got links to Prince Andrew. She could be released on bail due to COVID risk. Do you think she should be released soon? Like, due to that, or is she just finding excuses to try?
No, she should be in prison. She
Well,
elicited
she is
it.
in a facility at the moment.
She fucking brought the girls to him. The fact they're going, oh, it's a COVID risk. Does that mean every inmate should be released? No, fuck off. Put her in a cell. That's where she belongs. Epstein's fucking dead. We don't have a choice. She needs to suffer.
Or they can just put her in a separate cell away from the other inmates.
Yeah, obviously she's got a very high suicide risk as well because of obviously what happened to Epstein last year. He committed suicide.
I think that's the big thing of it, isn't it? Is they're like, well, we want you to pay for what you've done, but if we put you in prison, you've got a risk of COVID. If we put you on your own, you're at risk of maybe causing harm to yourself. Because I know that in doing she's had multiple psych evaluations done during this trial and everything and some of them came back negative, some of them came back positive, some of them come back they can't tell if she's insane. It's ridiculous. It's like, okay, she did what she did. She even did interviews about Epstein before she got in trouble, saying, yeah, he made me do it and shit like this. And it's like, you're saying she's into... No, put her in a cell.
What are we saying here? Are we saying that she herself has COVID? Has she been tested? Or is it just like, oh, I might get COVID from the prisoners?
It's just a COVID risk, so she might get it from prisoners. So she's obviously got like
She
that.
still committed a crime. She should
That's
still
the
be
prisoners
detained
for
in
it.
some form.
Yeah. If that's the only thing they can grasp at like trying to get her bail, then they're really not doing a great job, and they've really not got many options.
Yeah, I think they are clasping at straws, but then that's the problem with someone that's rich. They can afford lawyers that can, find loopholes.
Oh yeah, she'll have the very top lawyers, like the Epstein lawyers.
Yeah.
So obviously she's got links to Prince Andrew. Do you think she's going to name names and put Prince Andrew in the spotlight again? Well, not that he's not in the spotlight.
I think that's the only way she could possibly not get a huge sentence, isn't it? Like, she was the
Could
cause.
have it commuted.
She was the cause of so many, innocent lives being ruined.
She essentially trafficked. She put many
Yeah, that's
young...
what she was charged on, wasn't it?
Yeah, many
Yeah.
young girls
Sex trafficking.
at risk. So, yeah.
But I think not just that, I think on a moral ground as well. If you were part of that, and as she has said many times that she regrets doing it, and she has so many things she wishes she could take back, okay, then name all the celebrities that were involved with it. Because Epstein died. We don't know who did it anymore. You do. We know Trump was good friends with him. That's not a shocker. We know that...
Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton. We know fucking Prince Andrew. Let's face it, he was always a sketchy tosser. We know all those. But there was a lot of celebrities on that island too. A lot. And, people are like, oh, well, it's fine, there's no evidence. And this is why it's like, well, morally you should say, because then they can be held accountable as well. But, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think she'll actually do that? Do you think she'll actually cut a
they're
deal?
buying me off, or they're threatening my life, or whatever, then there's no real regret. I mean, it's not like she did it because she was fearful for her life. She did it because she was getting paid.
Well, I think she's going to play the victim card, like she was another one of Epstein's victims. But I don't know. How can she?
She was never a victim, as far as I'm aware. She was never a victim after she delivered several other victims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, she participated with some of these underage girls as well.
Yeah.
So she goes, I was a victim. I'm sorry, while he was lying there naked on a massage bed, you were a victim? What did he threaten you with? A cock slap? Fucking...
An egg-shaped.
Egg-shaped. But, no. I don't know. To me, it just seems very odd and suspicious as well. Like, I think the first thing, didn't she get off with like an extended trial because of evidence going missing or something along those lines? Which was, and after Epstein's passing as well, they postponed her trial. Why? Do you think she did it? Because I don't. She never visited him or had any contribution to it. So why was her trial postponed after Epstein passed? That makes no sense to me. I don't quite understand that logic of thinking like, oh, the actual person we wanted to get done has passed away. Let's leave all the other people. Let them go for a little bit longer. Let them have a life. Forget it. It's no big deal.
I mean, I understand victims not obviously running off and telling someone straight away, but I don't think I've ever heard of a story where the victim became the monster in a sense. I don't think I've ever heard that.
Yeah, no. I mean, it can happen, I guess. From what I've learned very little of in that area of psychology and stuff, I think it's much of like it's not entrapment, but it's like a guilt sort of thing that you feel, because even though they're your abuser, let's say, you still have a certain amount of respect and love and care and whatever for them because they've helped you in some way. And they hang that over your head. But with her, there was nothing of that. No. You know, she didn't come from a poor background or anything. You know, she came from a sort of normalish background. You know, she wasn't.
Well, she came from. Her dad was like a media sensation. I forgot what it was called. Yeah. Something Maxwell. But he was in the media. He's like he died under strange circumstances as well. So, but yeah, she was very much loaded.
Yeah. Exactly, so it's not like she could be like, I was a young girl that was vulnerable. No, you weren't.
And wasn't she taken in by someone else? Like, she literally met him there?
Yeah, she met him at like a business event or something, wasn't it? Or not a business event, but like, you know, big celebrities and stuff.
She was known as a socialite. There isn't many celebrities who she hasn't got a picture next to.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. But if you notice, try and find those pictures now. You won't find them anywhere. Like, it's funny. It's like her lawyers won't get rid of them very quickly. we don't want to admit she was friends with them. I don't know.
Everyone's cutting ties now.
Yeah. Oh, I can't say I blame them. But yes. On to another not so dark subject, but a little bit odd subject. Let's get rid of that. Oh, actually, before we do though, Shaggy, do you have any comments on that?
No comments on this one. I just don't look into that. It's not my forte or where my interest lies.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot barge pole.
Pretty much.
I'm fascinated by that stuff, but I think it is a risky thing to talk about as well, because obviously you have people that are like, I'm a social justice warrior. 10 years down the line, they're like, you said this 10 years ago. Yeah, no, on to another subject. On Will Smith. Yes, the actor we all know and love. He actually had an interview.
Don't ruin this for me.
Oh, no, it won't ruin it. But
yes, same.
there was like, for preference, I have a bias as well. I very much love Will Smith. I even liked him as the genie. I thought he was brilliant. But
you love him more than me.
Oh, I still need to see that.
It's not as good as the original, but he does the genie very respectfully, I can say that. You're just looking at me like, don't say a thing. Yeah, but no. Will Smith basically has been starting to go around and talk about the struggles that he had with his wife Jada, how they nearly broke up and split up, and that they've had hundreds of arguments. And he was even quoted as saying, I'm done with you, like quite literally to her in the middle of an argument. And somehow they managed to pull it back. They pulled their relationship together again. So, out of curiosity, because obviously Will Smith's films, let's face it, have not done well recently, do you think he's kind of done this as like a publicity stunt, as to try and get his name out there a bit more, as like gossipy type of crap that doesn't really need to be pushed in the light? I mean,
where is this going?
Do you think, alright, honestly, do you think he's kind of doing it because he feels like, okay, my films haven't done well, my name's starting to go out of the limelight, I need
Johnny
to get
Depp
my way.
has more fame than me now.
Yeah, exactly. And well, look at it that way, you know. Oh, that's gone in public and suddenly they're talked about. Do you think he's kind of done it to... Because, I mean, let's face it, there was no need for him or... Like, Jada has made very few comments on it. But Will's been, like, pushing these problems out everywhere. So do you think he's kind of doing it because he's scared of losing relevancy? Or do you think he's just doing it because it's like, well, look, I'm famous, but I still have my issues. You know, I still have real life problems. Which side
Well,
do you
it's
think
like
it's coming from?
I'm
there's
assuming
like
she's a nagging bitch.
everyone's kind of got their like profession and personal life, but when you're a famous actor, you've got like you've got celebrity status.
Yeah.
So you're kind of not forced, but people are interested in your personal life more than the average person.
Yeah.
So there's an element of staying relevant, I guess. Trying to air your dirty laundry a little bit so that people get more interested and might maybe sympathise with you.
We all
Gain
know
more followers.
social media will pick it up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's
that's
inciting
Absolutely.
his fans
Well, I think
to
another thing
Google
as well.
his name more.
I think if you get, whether it's big on YouTube or through films or TVs or anything, once you get like a certain notoriety, let's say, I think privacy becomes a thing of the past. I think when you're in the public eye, you're not going to get any privacy, even if you want it.
Most
It's
definitely, but
very difficult.
what's your source though? Like, who was he telling?
A lot
that to?
of social outlets have reported on this. So the one I'm taking from right now is the Mirror, the Daily. Have talked about it.
Okay.
But was it Will himself like posting
No,
on
yeah,
social
no.
media, or-
Yeah, him and Jada were both in the interview. I think Jada even added that we found, quote, we found all these difficult resources and different resources to help pull from there. You and I were going through a difficult time. She also went on to explain then she got into a relationship with I think it's a woman, called August, saying, quote, from there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement, end quote. So essentially, they ended up having an open relationship to try and fix their relationship.
Oh yeah, that'll work.
Well, for some people it might, but I think I don't know. What's your?
We're
kind of-
assuming August is a woman. I don't know. I don't know any men called August.
Yeah. They also went on to say, quote, you giving permission only circumstance is myself. August was probably trying to communicate. I could see how it is a man, would perceive it as permission.
Oh, is it?
I thought you just said it was a woman.
I thought it was, as we perceive it as permission as we were separated umbilically. I can't fucking say that word. But apparently, apparently they were sort of split up. She went off with someone else, had an affair, but Will knew all about it. Do you think this is just needless crap that they're
That
throwing out?
part I've heard of.
So do you think, now hearing a bit more of the story, do you think it is literally just unnecessary crap being thrown out, or do you think it's like, hey, look, we had these issues and this is what we did to fix it? Or,
I basically think it's a game of point scoring.
yeah, or to put it in a different limelight, do you think it's irresponsible that they're putting that so far out? Because people might look at their relationship and go, well, we're having issues. Do you think maybe me f***ing someone else will help us?
There's that moment.
Like, do you think it's irresponsible? I guess that's the question. Do you think it's irresponsible for celebrities to put that kind of information out there, especially when they have some young fan base and maybe slightly older?
Oh, most definitely,
Well,
because
it's
people
kind of a
are definitely
no-brainer because
spectrum.
if it's through pettiness, then yeah, irresponsible. Pettiness would be more equivalent to irresponsible in that kind of context.
Fair. Yeah. That's all I had for news.
I personally, I'd rather not know anything like that. Obviously, it pops up on Facebook or whatever now and again, even though I don't really go on there.
That's why I just think I feel. I have to look this shit up because I don't have Facebook anymore.
Like, if it's obviously an actor or an actress that I personally admire, I like their work, I'd rather not know anything about their personal life, because as soon as I hear something negative, that will always click in my head whenever I think of them.
Doggy!
I'd rather not. Yeah,
How
look,
to make a
Chambers.
situation happy again.
Well, no, because now the puppy is subjected to this.
Poor puppy.
Oh dear.
It's
They
abuse.
always drive
Over
away.
there he is.
What are you doing?
so yeah,
Leave Shaggy's
shall-
face alone.
No, I'm trying to make us bigger.
Oh.
Shall we move on to games that we've been playing?
Go on. So, anyone else want to start this?
So I'll start with like a kind of a broad one. So apparently next gen games are going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
Is this something you agree with? Like with higher production costs and like kind of next gen kind of graphics? I know I was kind of focusing on PlayStation, but it's just broadening to all next gen kind of things.
No. No.
Do you think prices should go up?
No.
What kind of comparison are you going at here? Because when
Roughly about
current
$10.
gen-
Like,
Yeah, they're
Well, I
going
mean,
up
like,
from 60
like-
to £70, roughly.
Well, yeah, but like when the current gen first came out as a next gen, prices were about 60 quid, and then they dropped a little bit to how they are now. So it might be a similar kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think the simple answer is no. The reason they're increasing it is because the gaming market has become an impossible chase for companies to constantly keep improving how much they're earning every semester. So if you look at, like, for instance, a big company like Ubisoft, they've had a lot of shit recently, but let's focus on the money. When it comes to them, how many people have they laid off and yet still been producing the same amount of games constantly over and over, but with more bugs, more glitches, more problems? The reason these big companies have these layoffs is because if they kept these people, it is impossible for them to hit the heights of, you know, how much revenue they're bringing in each semester. So the reason these companies get so much money is because they get so many investors, essentially through their stock. And they've just hit a point where it's impossible. Hence why microtransactions have become such a bloody huge thing in gaming. It's like, oh, how do we make more money? I mean, Christ, after GTA 5 had the first game to ever hit 1 billion in one quarter from microtransactions, suddenly every game had them. Because investors were flocking to Rockstar going, Christ, you're amazing. And then every other company went, fuck, get us money. So I think one of the biggest ones was Naughty Dog. They laid off so many people before Last of Us 2 came out that aren't even mentioned in the credits that worked on it, aren't ever mentioned or talked about because they made the game, and they put months of time into the games. But it's a way of companies chasing that impossible gain all the time. And it's the same reason why they're trying to push to... ironically, 2K are the first one to do it, because they produce a wrestling game and also a shitty sports game every year that never works properly and is filled with microtransactions. Let's charge another £10 just for the base game. Not the deluxe version. We'll make that £120. Fuck that. You know, it's just a ridiculous price increase to try and keep chasing that impossible gain of revenue every year. In my opinion, anyway. There's evidence, but, you know, in my opinion, don't sue me. Yeah.
What was the original question again?
I went off on the rant, I'm sorry.
Too much to absorb, is it?
You kept looking at me as if it's like we're having a personal debate.
No.
Getting more expensive.
And I can't care less. Personally, as someone who doesn't game a lot, I've always been raised with, if you can't afford it, you don't get it.
That's fair.
You know,
Sensible.
$10 more.
I mean,
it doesn't seem
I
like
think-
an entirely new crime genre, if you will, that they can be prosecuted for. I think they can charge whatever they want, and they will, regardless of what any of us think.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I believe that you should only invest your real money into microtransactions for games that you know you're playing for a long time and can actually, like, say, this is worth investing in. But if I was to make a really good point about currencies in a video game, Destiny is a good one, because the balance of silver to brightness is completely messed up and completely out of balance of what's what. From the rarity of the items, whether it's legendary, exotic, or rare, to the pricing of it for what the item is, whether it's an emote, a sparrow, or an armor piece. It's so all over the place. What is the currency and the exchange values to where it's meant to match up itself to brightness?
Yeah.
It's broken.
Yeah, I think it's the same. I mean, Christ, look at Battlefront 2 when that first came out. That was absolutely
That was a mess.
hammered. I mean, Christ, the laws in the UK now, they've actually made loot boxes a gambling thing.
Yeah.
Now they have to be regulated as gambling. And
That
if
was
that
about
law
2
gets
years
through,
ago.
you know, that's it. Fucking games in the UK are going to change dramatically.
That whole
2
loot
years
box
ago,
thing.
they started getting recognised as gambling.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think it's a good thing.
Well, the reason why
obviously
it's
games.
recognised as gambling is because of because of the RNG aspect of it. If you knew what you're spending your money on, it doesn't count as gambling because you're spending your money on stuff that you knew you were getting.
Yeah.
And it's kind of dangerous because gambling is mostly for adults, online casinos and normal casinos and stuff like that. But microtransactions are aimed at kids mostly.
This is the thing. I mean, think about it. If all these microtransactions and kind of loot boxes were based in games that were, let's say, 16 plus, you know, or over, that wouldn't be so bad, because in the UK, at 16, you're legally allowed to have a full-time job, so you can pay for them. Even though the legal age for gambling is 18, 16, you can have a job, you can pay for it. But these things come out in gauges 3 or above, aimed at little kids, and they're like, "Oh no, gambling's fine. Have fun."
Yeah, I will say,
you know, I don't know.
Niece, she's actually got an actual gambling game with like little microtransactions, and Lucy's gotten into trouble because obviously it's like this one tap purchase kind of thing on there, and
Christ, yeah.
it should not
Well,
be available at all. It should be a little tighter.
if you think about it, like you, pretty much everyone starts learning about gambling since they're a child. But like from like our generation or older generations, it was more of the child's games you'd play in schools, something like that, or in a social group at
Like
parties and
arcades.
stuff. Yeah.
Definitely
Well,
arcades.
not so much arcade. I guess that does include. I'm talking about like the kind of things where like you're playing the game, but you don't have the repercussions because you're learning the ways on how it works gambling, but you don't lose anything because it's a friendly game at the time. But then people start using terminology, and then like it's just you start learning the rules, you get the terminology, then it starts getting the repercussions.
Yeah. It's like how EA tried to change loot boxes to surprise mechanics.
Yep.
Like, that's ridiculous. In the court of law, they were like, we don't consider them gambling. We consider them surprise mechanics.
I will say that I think transactions like that in games, I think you can purchase them. You're well within your right to do it. But I think it also should be an option where you can actually earn it through in-game mechanics, either skill sets or points or in-game monetary systems.
And not through like a ridiculous grind of hours and hours of playing a game to get one thing. Like, I think there should be a set grind for like something. It states something's like super rare and you're not going to get it in the game very often. Yeah, absolutely. Put a bit of a grind behind it. Make it a challenge to get it because absolutely you should earn it. But I think if something is very common, why should I have to pay £10 to get it?
I mean, the point of the game, though, right, is to play it, not to buy something to make it simple.
Games used to be you pay a set amount of money, there's your game. Not pay £60, have a base game, miss some of the shit because we're going to charge you for it later, and also play the game for 100 hours so you can get as much as possible. Yet you'll still have to play it for 100
No, that's wrong.
more.
You shouldn't have to pay for extra content. The game should be the game. Like maybe get perks that you can get super early on if you buy it. Or whatever.
DLC is fine if it's like an entire expansion that's been worked on for months and months. Like that's fine. New content is fine.
That's where it faded because it used to be the case. Like you used to pay your money, you get the full game. But then they had you pay your money, you get the full game, and then they'd have extra content on top of that. But then they made as they have it now, where it's base game, extra content for even more stuff that is less content than what you should be getting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh. Good discussion.
I just want to add that I hate the fact that kids 3 and up can play games on electronic devices.
Yeah.
I mean, you see has 2 tablets and she is allowed on her mum's phone to play on games and do whatever, and to be honest, it just fries my head.
Yeah.
The fact that she knows how to work TVs and these tablets rather than knowing the fact that maybe I shouldn't run into the road.
Yeah, no. That's an entire discussion you could have on that.
Yeah. I don't want to get into it because I'll lose my shit and she might end up seeing this.
It's okay. All the names.
You hear stories of like kids spending thousands on Fortnite, not realising they're actually buying microtransactions.
James doesn't like Fortnite.
Not my cup of tea. I'll be honest, but you know, whoever likes it, Ninja's made plenty of money off it. Carry on, crack on. If you like the game, you like it.
Play it all you want, just don't bring it up in my company. Not interested.
It's a taboo word. Bring it up and you get slapped.
There was a Ubisoft leak, so that Far Cry 6 was actually leaked ahead of their little conference thing that they're going to have.
Yes.
It's going to star Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad.
I already know this. Fantastic.
I saw it earlier.
Are we looking forward to the next Far Cry game?
Yeah. Well,
No.
I think it's just going to be the
Haven't
same as
played
every
it.
other one. It's going to be
Okay,
the same
Far
as
Cry.
every other one, isn't it? It's just going to be rehashed map,
Open world.
loads of symbols. Go to this symbol, do this thing. Go to this symbol, do this thing. I mean, admittedly, I'll buy it.
I mean,
It's
I
a
like
typical
that.
open world sandbox game. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame
They're
it's
obvious-
done by a company that, promotes sexual harassment in the workplace. But there we are.
I think they're trying to do like the whole, let's get a known star in, because they did it with Breakpoint, didn't they?
Yeah.
But look how
They're going to make the same mistake and underutilize him, though. Like, he's an
Yeah.
because obviously he's the villain, right? Like, he could play a very good villain, but, I mean, will they use him properly, or will they just be like, 5-minute cameo, there you go, and piss off?
well,
We
that's
can't
so that
afford
they
you.
don't continue what they do with Breakpoint by saying, "Here's the full price for the game. Here's another full price amount to complete the game and not play it at all."
Yeah. Oh, and if you want to buy everything in the game while you start the game, feel free.
Basically.
Microtransaction Simulator, I think it was called for a while.
And also,
Just
you have
that-
to pay to see his face because it's going to be blued.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's something game companies start doing.
It's like an extra layer to time is money. And
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. Ah.
Yeah, any other gaming news? Anyone
Anyone
or
want to
any,
talk about
any
any
games that
games?
people have been playing recently that they want to bring up?
Yes.
Just that Stardew Valley is getting end game content.
Oh, really?
Again.
Yes.
I thought we already hit 1.0 like a few years ago.
1.0?
Yeah, I thought it
It's
hit,
like 1.5 now.
1.5. no,
1.5.
Oh, and not charging for it. Free content that he's worked very hard on by himself to
Yeah,
really.
it's just one guy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is impressive, by the way. That's
It's
a
like
game
a-
developer I would pay microtransaction for.
And I've been playing it for years, but it's on and off, and not one bug.
Yeah,
It's dedication, man.
funny that. It's
Played
like
it
when there's
on
less
the Switch.
people, it's nicer.
Because he cared about putting the game out.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Companies don't care anymore. But
No.
I've been playing.
Money.
I think I've been playing.
Actually, I have to say though, despite all the stuff that, all the games that Ubisoft typically makes, strangely enough, or ironically enough, probably their most stable game is Uno.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Ironic that
Mm.
the most simple game that just clasps the money. Yeah. No, I've
Who
been
doesn't like
playing
Uno?
Syndicate and
Yeah.
Dead by Daylight, my two games that I'm playing right now.
Dead by Daylight. What's that?
What's that? Well, I'll tell you, Sean. It's a game we've been playing for a while.
1, 2, 3,
Well, here's something then. I did a little baddie.
A little baddie.
Mm,
Oh,
I bought myself another killer.
Oh, that's fine.
For the cheap.
That's okay. Yeah, no
That's,
one's gonna judge you for
that's
that.
not telling you.
I
which
will.
killer it's
Robin!
not. You have to wait and see.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
so
she's not. You wouldn't
it's
tell
gonna
me
be a
earlier.
surprise. It's good.
Let's end this podcast early so we can find out.
Yeah, should have, but there we go.
We need another
Too
player.
late.
We need 5 people. It's not as fun as otherwise.
Right.
Shall we move on to films then?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
Yes.
What's people been
Uh,
watching?
I recently watched Scoob, the new film that came out.
Ooh, that's the first time that Matthew Lillard hasn't played Shaggy as well. What was that like?
It's brilliant.
Oh, that's good to know.
I loved it. The one thing I absolutely loved though is that they brought in like 3 characters that were in, from my past and my father's past. Like Captain Caveman was in it.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and what's his name? I keep forgetting the name of the film, but you know, Catch the Pigeon. You got that dog and the guy with the big moustache. He was in this as well.
Oh.
I'm not saying much spoilers, but it's fantastic. And Zac Efron plays Fred, of course.
Yeah, that was debated a lot about. Although I think he's a good
Now
actor.
I'm
It
just not
was
going to
good.
watch it.
I think he's a good actor.
No.
It was good. I highly recommend you
He's good looking
see
actor.
it when it comes out. on DVD.
Damn it,
I mean,
John.
you can
Good
pay
eye
for
candy.
the cinema version if you
Damn
want
it,
to.
James.
That's what we did, but highly recommended.
Oh, that's good.
Who
Oh.
plays Velma?
Oh,
Shall I tell you about another character that pops up?
go on.
Spoilers!
That's okay. I'll flash spoilers on the wall. In screen, like, don't watch this. There's spoilers. Go on.
You're drawing it out now.
Let's move on.
Yes, skip it.
late.
It's not
Too
important.
late.
I can
Too
Google
late.
it later.
Yep.
And,
Just blurt it out when it.
yeah, just randomly blurt it out and make my job more difficult when I edit.
Or you. Or are you trying to wait for my answer?
Go on, give it then. If you're gonna give the answer, give it now.
Speak,
Give it.
How about I give you a clue?
No, just give us the.
This ain't no damn quiz.
God damn! I want to know.
I
Tell me.
want no damn multiple
I've got
choice.
a chance to guess who it is. Because this person was seen in Shrek 2
Oh, okay.
for a little bit,
Okay.
but only after the credits.
Do you have that same mindset of just I wanted to f***ing tell me who it is? I didn't come here to guess it. Snip, snip.
Got Lord Farquaad in the dragon's belly.
Oh God, if it's Lord Farquaad, that would be good.
Simon Cowell.
Oh God. Simon.
When
Cowell.
was he in there?
He just appears in it. Just pops up like hello.
You have to wait and see. I'm just telling you, he's in it, and it's
Oh.
pretty.
No, I'm asking
All
like
of them.
when is he in Shrek?
Second one after end credits.
Oh
Yes,
well.
he did have
Okay, yeah, they're all having like the
Alright.
thingy.
He did.
I thought you were on about the first one.
Scoopy snack, it's a no from me.
It's a no from me.
Yeah, well, I finally jumped on the hype train very too late for Stranger Things. I've been watching that season, the first season recently. I've got one more episode in season 1. But yeah, I like it. It's very much Stephen King-esque. Yeah, good child actors and good adult actors. It's good,
No children
well
anymore.
produced all around. And it's got that horror vibe, but like entry-level horror, I'd say.
Not like hardcore.
Yeah. Not like super gruesome, hardcore. It's like just, well shot in a horror vibe.
I think I gave up on that a bit too early. Like my brother came down to stay and we watched a couple of episodes of it, and he said I'd find it funny, and I didn't find it funny.
It was not fun.
No,
like 80s
but I
vibe and
think
the
I should
soundtrack.
give it another try. Just not look at it as a comedy, because that just didn't work for me at all.
No.
I wouldn't say it's comedy, more like adventure, horror,
Yeah.
What the
sci-fi.
hell have you ordered?
It's got a bit of everything.
Oh. Alright.
Yeah, it's got a bit of something for everyone. Yeah, that's how people describe it, isn't it? But yeah.
Oh.
Anyone else watched anything?
What have we watched? We watched anything.
Well, I made you watch Ghostbusters 2016.
Yeah, I watched the 2016 version of Ghostbusters.
Oh, with the female cat.
Yeah, and right, taking out of the thing of having a
Bridesmaids.
complete female cast, right? Because at the time in 2016 that was the rave because men sucked, and the fact that it has got so many fucking things of just men being dumb. Taking that out, I think the acting was done very well. I think they were very faithful to what was the original, and they did a good job of it. I
And the
didn't
original
hate it.
cast was in there, apart from
Yeah,
one.
I think to be honest, they could have done without the cameos. I think that's kind of getting like an old trick now of just if they try to reboot a franchise or remake a film, hey, here's the old cast, they're in it, they approve.
Bill Murray's cameo sucked. It went on way too long. The others were just pretty short, and it was quite
Snippy.
nice.
I
But
think
it
Chris-
only makes sense, and you only care if you watch the originals.
Yeah,
someone
which I did.
has not. No, you watched
I
the
watched
Well,
it.
the
ones.
second
watched
one was very good. It will never beat the.
I've watched
original.
I've watched the original Ghostbusters, and I thought it was complete shit. I don't see what the big rave was about it.
You tend to think the second one is better than the first one.
I like the
At the
remake
time.
more than the first one. Like the original was not good, in my opinion, anyway.
I was honestly really surprised because he
Okay, then.
hates Melissa
Think about it
McCarthy.
this way.
Didn't like it.
All the originals tend to be better than the remakes. For example, A Nightmare on Elm Street. better
Do you know
than
what?
the remake.
Do you know what? The remake, the worst thing they did with that fucking remake was make him a paedophile. That's it. If he was killed for no reason, just like the original Freddy Krueger was not innocent. He did like children in that way, but they never outright said it. So you always had that kind of love for his sort of comedy in the fact of how he killed people. With the remake, they made him so dark and evil, and not to be horrible to the actor that played Freddy, he is very good. He's very good in the roles he takes.
You loved Freddy, the actor that plays Freddy.
Robert Englund had way more charisma and was way more charismatic on screen when he played Freddy. Like, this new one was just, I'm evil, I'm going to kill you. Whereas Freddy was like, I'm going to make a dance and a joke about it and really wind you up first. Yeah.
Who's the actor who did him in the remake?
The guy that was in Watchmen, the film.
His voice was a lot more disturbing, I will be honest, but then...
That's what they went for, though. They went for a more dark and true picture.
It's kind of like just the technology at the time, so it's more
scarier, and it
James
make him
is gonna kick me. I thought Robert Englund was playing.
Yeah.
Well, in all his makeup and stuff, it's kind of hard to tell who it is.
Yeah, it is
Well, I
difficult.
thought it was the voice and everything. Well, I haven't really seen the first one. I only saw the remake.
The voice is much... in the remake, the voice is much deeper. It's very much they went for a horror intimidation aspect instead of Robert Englund's... I guess you could count it as a lighter portrayal. Because he is more comedic than he is... Like, I think of all the puns that he does... And the puns that happen in the remake, like there's a pun about him killing a dog, and he goes, I just wanted to pet him.
Hated that bit.
It doesn't land, whereas you've got something like Freddy Krueger from the original, which is, welcome to primetime, bitch, and he slams her head in a TV.
I feel like puns when he's actually
The line that you just
laughing
said from the remake, I just wanted to pet the dog or something. That would have worked so much better if it was like Edward Scissorhands, not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's more of the kind of world you see it in. Whereas Freddy Krueger, why would he kill a dog?
It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, he's trying to incite fear into Nancy. He's the worst thing she's ever encountered. He assaulted her when she was a kid. You know, she suppressed her, like him in her memories. He has like tortured her in her dreams already. No, he's going for the animal.
What was that one for? Trying to...
What now?
Well, obviously, because... Take Freddy versus Jason, for example. He was trying to get them to remember him. What the hell was he... What was his goal there? Just coming back?
I think it was just to haunt their dreams. Like, he essentially...
Well, he lives on their fear, doesn't he?
Freddy Krueger is not actually the demon. There's three different... three-headed demon that actually is behind the Freddy Krueger persona. They just take the form of Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, so it's not actually him coming back at all.
They just feed off fear, so it's just kind of whatever. Like, another thing as well is that they made it too dark. If the film was slightly... I don't know. I know they went for a more gritty feel, but I mean, you look at the originals. What makes them so memorable? Freddy. Like, his persona, his lightheartedness. He's so... In such a way, you hate him because he's the villain, but you love him because of how hilarious he is at times.
And that makes...
As the films went on, they got a bit old and a bit crap, but he still had that persona, whereas in the new one, it was literally deep voice, look scary, knives for fingers, that's it. That was his charisma.
But like in the remake, they tried to actually make him look more like a burnt victim, but then it was just too horrifying, so they dulled it down. It's just like, we can't have that in a horror movie.
Yeah, no, God forbid they make their villain scary.
I feel like the directors are kind of missing the point of what the core essence of what horror is.
Yeah.
Most original horrors were people waking up from a nightmare going, that would make a good movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's the stuff that's actually like unrelenting, and you're not meant to censor or dilute it or dilate at all. That's just the old core thing of a horror.
Well, I think that wasn't the first remake either, because the first remake was Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which was actually based on the actors playing their characters in the film, which was also being filmed into the film. And that flopped and didn't do very well. And again, it was because they tried to do something completely off the formula and it just doesn't work. You can't change who Freddy is. Freddy, coming from a die-hard fan of Freddy Krueger, he is so likable and lovable because of his persona. You know, if you make him a dull villain that's just evil for the sake of being evil, it doesn't work. He has to have that persona. Like, I mean, you look at Jason Voorhees. Imagine if he started talking and dancing and making jokes all the time. Wouldn't be Jason Voorhees. It wouldn't work.
No.
He's silent. I'm going to stab you now. Goodbye. Michael Myers. He stands away and watches. That's what makes him scary. The moment they changed him to just I'm going to stab you, kill you, goodbye. Suddenly, all his horror is gone. You have to... Jigsaw, the man that's so intelligent and works out how to do all these traps, but make it so that they can still escape. It's why halfway through the Saw series, spoilers, you can tell it's not him anymore. It's what feeds into all these characters. The moment you change a fundamental thing with a villain, no matter who it is, it doesn't work anymore. Doesn't resonate.
They're iconic characters. Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers. You don't even have to watch the movie anymore to know who those guys are.
Yeah.
You can certainly have their characters evolve, give them more depth, but you can't just outright change it. It's like, let's try a new angle.
Yeah. Well, that's what they did in the final Freddy film. In the final Nightmare on Elm Street, they tried to give Freddy a backstory, and they did it by saying he's not the actual thing that's killing people, it's the demons behind him. And it worked. It wasn't great, but it worked. But, you know, I don't know.
Well, to quote Scream, first rule of horror remakes is don't with the original.
Yeah, exactly. And even the Scream 4, the technical remake, it still did better than the remake for any other horror film that I've ever seen.
You lose the original fans, and the new fans just don't care enough about it because you didn't put enough effort into it.
It's a shame Robert Englund said he'll never do it again.
Oh, they've destroyed it now, though.
I think you just need more original ideas
He's too
to
old
remake
now
it.
as well, isn't he? Even he said it himself. He said, I could do the role, but it won't be the same. He's too... He said it himself, he's too old to be running around, jumping around all over the place. He's not got the same physique that he used to have, you know.
They can just CGI him. Just have his face.
Still do it.
Yeah.
Well, he did have a gun.
Or a lookalike.
Yeah. Or put his CGI his face on. You could do that.
Yeah.
Like,
Or he could just be like the talking face and then the rest of him CGI with the long arms and stuff.
make a cartoon of it. No, why have they never done a horror animated cartoon rated 18? That would work hilariously. Especially for Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
That's why I like quite a lot of those kind of anime that can like really
There's
horrific.
plenty of horror anime.
Yeah, exactly. I've watched tons of it now because I found that genre of anime.
I mean, with the gore and the effects, I think horror animes actually disturbed me a lot more than
Very sure.
movies.
Oh, yeah.
Live action.
Definitely, no.
You're not limited. Well, you're only limited to the standards of the artist, but
Once you watch horror anime, normal horror does not scare you anymore. Like, at all.
Or is it more psychological?
Yeah.
even the bits that aren't even horror disturb me. I don't like it.
Out of curiosity then, who's everyone's favourite horror villain?
Well, you know mine.
Yes, but the podcast does not. That's why I asked.
Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, mine's Ghostface, as you would know from last time, because I wore the mask.
You did.
I don't have a favorite horror character.
Not everyone's cup of tea.
I thought I plugged my computer.
We'll give you Michael Myers.
What one's coming to your mind?
Well, when you think of horror, what's the first villain that would come to your mind, Shaggy? That's a good question.
Nothing does.
Is that, no.
It can be an anime character if it wants to.
Oh yeah, okay.
I have to remember one?
Actually, there you go. Helsing. I'm surprised that one didn't come. Technically, that's classed as a horror.
True.
Helsing Ultimate. Yeah.
Yeah, House.
Oh yeah, it is.
That is a good anime, by the way. I've rewatched that since we watched it, and I have such.
Oh, really?
I have a bigger appreciation for that anime. So much more.
What, the Ultimate series?
Yeah, the Ultimate.
Sorry
Because
guys,
when I
my
first watched
computer's
it,
dying.
that's fine. When Shaggy first showed me that anime, I was not into anime at all. Like, he had to force me to sit there and watch it. Whereas I've gone back now and rewatched it, and I have a huge appreciation for that anime and what it tries to do. Compared to what I used to be like, oh, I've got to sit through this. Whereas now I'm like, more Shaggy, we need to find more. But yeah, what about you? Favourite horror character? Mine's Freddy, if anyone who out there couldn't guess. Like,
Come on, give us an impression.
Impression time with James.
He's lubing his
the lesser
throat.
known, which is basically Knucklebones, because that's the first one that popped into my mind.
God, yeah. Knucklebones. Oh, Jesus. It's a memorable
He's
one.
creepy, okay?
And he has
He's
good one-liners.
funny as hell,
Yeah,
and
he
he
does.
literally uses people as doorways into this world.
Oh, it's great.
What more could you ask for?
True. All right then. What's since we're still on the movies and TV shows and stuff, has anyone? What's everyone's favourite horror film that they've watched? Then, if you had to choose one, since we're on the topic of horror, or favourite film actually. In fact, what's your favourite film? We'll go with that.
The original Saw.
Good choice. Very good choice. Shaggy, any favourite films or anime? And anime as well. We'll spread it
Yeah.
out. We're not going to tunnel vision you.
Although, oh, never mind.
Honestly, probably one of my favorite like anime movies right now would probably be A Silent Voice.
Fair enough. Ooh,
My
cool.
favourite anime would be Spirited Away, as always.
It's a good film.
Well,
Very, very good film.
movie is.
Sean, your favourite?
Yes, my favourite would probably be the original Scream because it's just so unique and it turned the genre on its head.
It did, and it had Shaggy in it.
Yeah,
Matthew.
and what's she called?
She did, didn't she? I forgot about that. I saw a trailer.
And it had another guy from Scary Movie in it too.
Yeah.
That film, I think the cast went over as well with it. To Scary Movie. What about you, Vic?
Horror film or franchise?
Any, whatever.
I'm gonna have to go with The Lost Boys. I know you don't like them.
Yeah, Lost Boys.
You find them detestable.
It's a bad film, man. I don't get it.
Then again, I grew up watching it. I watched it every year
Yeah.
for Halloween.
It's
Sometimes
the same as
more so.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Like I didn't watch them when they first came out. All right.
I would
anyone
say
else?
like the TV series and the films. I think I prefer the films over the TV series. Although I like Tim Curry as the clown.
I absolutely hate it.
Yeah. I mean,
Hate it.
What, like the films or?
do you know
I
what?
hate the new one. It's scared the living daylights up with me.
See, I think Bill Skarsgård did a much better job of playing Pennywise, only because I've seen Tim Curry do so many comedy roles and so many different roles. I think his portrayal of it was good, but I
Yeah.
definitely think that Bill had much more horror elements added to it. Like, I think with the original Pennywise, they did try to make it kind of more comedic and more comedy-like in the sense of, because they knew kind of Tim Curry's background and things, and he does a fantastic job as Pennywise.
Yeah.
But I think Bill definitely had that advantage of technology and, just his physical look. The lip thing that he does is just all him. He's done that since he was a kid. And the eye roll, that's completely natural. He only rolls one eye. Like, it just brings so much more terror than the original Pennywise. Although a classic, absolutely, it's definitely not. I think Tim Curry did much better in like Rocky Horror Picture Show and Scary Movie. Much, much better. He was much more entertaining to me in those films than he was in that series. Although it is, I think, universally understood that series, although respected, not great. But, Stephen King is shit at endings.
I quite enjoyed Tim Curry's role in
Penguins.
Fingerly, who's like where he played like a hex, like a figure of pollution. It was quite funny how he played that role.
I don't know, I just
He's a good
wasn't
actor.
scared by it. At all. Like, to be honest, watching that film makes me sad more than anything.
Yeah.
It just does not scare me. So I can't see it as a horror movie. Like, I was just watching it waiting to be properly scared. I'm a little bit disturbed on some parts, but no.
It did. I think it only made me jump once, and that was in the second one, the second It film, when he's underneath the stadium and just goes. Uses his hands. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing else scared me or made me jump. That was the only bit that I was like.
I mean, I jumped and you were behind me and I just went, "Ruh." That f***ed me up, but
Sorry.
other than that,
Yeah.
Those are the best jump scares.
I almost cried.
Don't watch horror films with me. If I know that you're scared, I will make you jump.
Just
I'm an asshole
retreated
like
under
that.
the quilt cover. My safe
No.
space.
Yeah.
I
No.
watched Megalodon with you.
Oh, the Meg.
The Meg.
Oh,
Oh, I
Christ.
love dark movies.
The Meg was so good. Actually, that was the first time you came down, right, Sean?
Yeah, I
We
think so.
did the 24-hour live stream. Went and saw Meg. Had a lovely Wagamama's meal, which I put way too much hot sauce into one of my meals and made it really oily and disgusting.
The fucking hill where my
You do
clips
that
burned
a
out.
lot.
Yeah, not so
Fair to
much
say.
anymore. I can't do that anymore, but you know. No, good times. Good times.
Yes. Any other films and stuff?
Yeah,
Or
anyone
film
else got
related?
any questions or topics on films and TV and anime and stuff?
Obviously, Halloween Kills has had its first teaser for 2021. That looks interesting. The 2018 Halloween was actually pretty good as well.
I still yet to watch the new one. I might watch that tonight, actually.
It's hard to call it a remake because
Oh,
it actually had the
yeah,
original
yeah.
character.
You have to watch on your own. I've not seen any of the Halloween films.
It's not a remake or anything.
I mean, like it's trying to more like a reboot, I suppose, rather than remake. Because
But then they were like, Jamie, come back. We can't do this without you.
yeah, it's got Jamie.
I'll just watch Deck of Shadows review of it.
Yeah, fair.
Good films.
Yeah. So is that it? Has anyone got anything, or should we move on to our final part?
Well, I know that the spring season of anime is just finished, so I'm going to have to start listing off what I'm going to be watching.
Go on.
I don't know. Like
You
I
don't know?
haven't made a list. I need to make the list of what I'm going to be watching.
Oh, dear.
Make it now.
Food Wars. The Food Wars anime series.
Yeah.
No, man, like
that's
looking
it.
back over spring and like catching up with what I've missed. Basically.
Definitely gonna watch Food Wars.
I need to catch up with Boruto.
I'm still watching through Fullmetal Alchemist. I'm getting there though. Almost halfway through. I am
It's not
watching.
really that many episodes, like
Yeah,
50.
51.
50.
51.
Yeah.
But I'm
51,
watching that,
52.
Baki, and oh shit, what was the other one I'm watching? Parasite. I haven't watched them in a while, so I need to get back on them. I think.
I'm not watching them when I'm around. That's not a Parasite one.
Oh yeah, there's one I need to re-watch as well, because I think the second season's coming out, is Fruit Baskets, and there's also another, I can't remember if it's coming out as manga or an anime, but Inuyasha spin-off, which I'm looking forward to.
Ooh, nice. Oh, look at that dog.
Oh, look at that doggy.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, Sean, you just flashed your butt on camera.
Oh, sorry.
This is going
Censor it, James.
This is
It's
Censor
a
it all.
well-shaven butt.
Yeah, put a smiley face on it when it pops.
Sorry.
has she been to the trimmers today or something?
Recently, yeah. So
Oh.
she's more well groomed than I am.
Right. Well,
when it comes to buttholes, so it.
Yeah, my butthole is not groomed. It's a hairy mess.
And on that good segue,
On that
we'll
wonderful
move on.
note.
I mean, I would have said a comment, but you just spat on my face. So I'll take that
Sorry.
as a don't say anything.
Sorry. No, it's not what I said. Right. Is there any more stuff on films or TV that I want to talk about? Okay, so now we're on to the final section of our podcast, which is just random we found and we want to talk about with everyone. You can talk about whatever you want. Go nuts. We will discuss it for as long as you want. There's no time limits on this part, so go nuts. Anything. Has anyone got anything? I know me and Sean might have something, but anyone got anything that they'd like to discuss? Let's talk about the middle finger. Cheers.
So the sound of nothing is quite nice, actually.
It's, yes, silence. Yeah, no. Has anyone got anything that they would like to talk about, or that they love, that they would like to hear other opinions of people about?
think we need your list.
Opinions? Spoonerism?
Well, James came to wake me up at 10 this morning, which was nice. I could have slept till 11, to be honest with you, but while he was doing his editing, I was just surfing through the news, and an article came up I thought was quite interesting about the Tiger King. And how police went there because human remains were allegedly found in an alligator.
I read that today as well.
Pen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ironically,
I wonder whose remains that.
didn't it happen while ghost adventurers were there?
Most definitely he who was reading over my shoulder.
No, I heard that it was Zach Bagans and Ghost Adventurers that went there or something. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Because I love those guys.
They were actually doing something for the new TV series that's coming out, and they had sniffer dogs there, and their owner said they picked up the scent of human remains.
Oh.
So.
Wouldn't that be a twist if it was Carol Baskin's husband?
How the f*** did they get him from there to there? Wasn't that actually, that was an interesting thing that came
I was just about to say that, you bit.
Go on. I'm not saying that.
Funny enough, you mentioned Carol Baskin. She's actually been awarded the land. Not so much the assets that's on there, which is why she cannot claim the ones that were taken away by Joe and his family to another plot. But yeah, she now owns the zoo. It's
Okay.
no longer under Joe Exotic's name.
That's
now.
what she wanted all the time.
So maybe he is buried there.
She's now much better than Joe. I'm just going to say that now. She still keeps tigers in cages. She still, forces them to... Tigers shouldn't be kept in cages. I'm doing that for their safety, but they shouldn't be in cages.
Well, from what I saw, Joe kept them in a much larger...
The way they give food
enclosures
such
and-
small little.
Yeah.
Mini cage.
At least Joe's look more suitable for having them. Like, I feel like Carol's could actually get out of this.
I don't know, because Joe was obviously done on a lot of instances of euthanizing young cubs and tigers illegally.
I didn't like the whole petting thing that Joe did.
It was
like
like
the young cubs.
breeding and having them in captivity and stuff to make money, which I think is fine under regulation if it's regulated and they're looked after. But that's the problem, isn't it? That's why Joe got done for killing young tigers and lions and stuff, was because he was killing them off when they were too old to be, cubs, And obviously the incident with his employee getting her arm ripped off, or his arm, I apologise, getting ripped off, and also a 10-year-old, I think it was, that was attacked by a 10-week-year-old cub that actually injured a child while he was still working there. And obviously with Jeff Lowe owning the place, Jeff is obviously still not a good guy. Like, a lot of sketchy shit about him.
I mean, I'm not sticking up for Joe in any way, but when you work with animals or when you go to visit these animals, you have to remember they are animals. They are not domesticated. If you insist your
Piss 'em
child
off.
can hold a 10-week-old tiger cub, then you have to understand that there's a possibility that a child might actually be killed or injured.
I don't know.
If they hold any animal, even a dog that they are familiar with, it can happen.
Yeah.
And the employee did say it was her fault that she stuck the arm in the cage, but
But what's kind of everyone's opinion on that then? The fact that remains might have been found. Wasn't there actually before we get that? Wasn't there like a quote from Joe about it as well?
It was, yeah. But before I get into that, I'm just going to say now, there was an update on the article where they say, where police sources, not actual police officers, mind you, police sources have said that it is a small animal because they did find a tail, but they haven't analysed the remains at all. And it is
would make
possible,
sense if it's an animal.
but depending on the degree of the sniffer dog, they can confuse animal with human remains because it's not a certain scent. What they're smelling is putricide, I think, and then there's also cadaverdine, I think it's called, which is basically the scent of decay and decomposition, is what they're picking up on.
Nice.
But someone related, in links with Joe, not related, then actually said that there are 4 people's ashes on the property as part of a memorial, but they would not disclose who. And
What kind of people's thoughts?
one that actually links to nothing, sorry guys, was basically Joe. Was it Joe or who's the guy that's had the zoo?
Oh, Jeff.
Jeff, there we go. Jeff actually, because they didn't want the land anymore because they'd already moved the most valuable assets off. They actually wanted to donate it to the Indian nation because there is actually apparently an Indian boy buried on the site. And they wanted to give him over so they can preserve the grave and make a memorial for them. So it just keeps adding up. There's more ashes, there's more bodies.
So what's everyone's thoughts?
Something's
Wait.
fishy.
Yeah, it could be a case of like something really old that was buried there before Joe even stepped foot on the land. Or I think the only person Joe wanted to kill was Carol Baskin.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's just every article I read, there was just something new. It's like, it's an Indian burial ground. Did you know this? Like, well, it was one body, but yeah. It's an Indian grave, let's say.
Excuse me.
How could you?
How dare you?
I said, excuse me. You got to admit, somewhere in the back of your mind, you're either thinking I was going to sneeze or burp some point during this.
If you'd have not had a reaction to that, then I think we would have just ignored it.
Yeah.
Burp.
Because you're like,
I mean, yeah, considering that was a pretty big hit on Netflix when it came out, and there's just new stuff coming up about it all the time. But Joe doesn't own it anymore, and he's still facing his 22-year sentence.
Well, it's 79 years.
it's amazing how you can actually send him things in prison and he will like sign it and send it back to you.
It's nice.
But he's still trying to ask Trump to let him out or something, isn't he?
Yeah, he actually got mentioned by Trump.
Yeah.
Joe Exotic.
We'll look into that case. No.
I'm still waiting for this. Alright, I didn't want it and I thought it was wrong. I'll just say that now, but
Yeah, I was gonna say.
he promised there'd be a war and I haven't seen it.
He had a flimsy one that actually collapsed during a storm. Which I found hilarious.
Oh yeah.
It was just a fence.
I think it would be incredible if he got elected again. Like,
Oh well, is it Kanye West that's
Why?
like
Right,
going up for
he
president?
cannot win. I'm sorry. Kanye has got about as many brain cells as Kim Kardashian's got one giant arse. He doesn't have enough brain cells to be a part of that. No.
Some people say if Donald Trump can get in, then why can't Kanye?
Yeah,
Look,
what's
have you seen how
the
Trump has
possibility
handled
they
it?
select him so they can all nominate Trump again?
I'm sorry. If you vote for Trump or Kanye, you don't deserve to vote. Like, you don't. I'm sorry, but you're a fucking idiot. My words, no one else's. My words.
Yeah,
Now
Trump is
something-
certainly entertaining, but I don't know. Wouldn't want him to leave my account.
China.
Like, he should be president in a TV show, that's it.
The Apprentice.
Yeah. The
President.
The Apprentice. Technically, he owned that show for a while.
Well, no, I mean, like, he should be America's president in a TV show, not the actual president.
No.
Like a scary movie version.
What's his name? Jack Nicholson did a better job playing the president.
White House Down. Wait, who's the president now?
That's oh god, what's his name? Morgan Freeman.
No, it wasn't.
No.
We all
was
love
it?
Morgan.
No, Jamie Foxx. Yeah,
Why? White House Down?
yeah. No,
No, Morgan Freeman was in it though.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure if he played the president or not.
No, he was not the president. Are you looking it up to Ronnie?
Yeah, no, because I'm not trying to prove you right. I
You are.
genuinely thought I'm confused.
I'm sure it was Jamie Foxx, because I don't like him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
president.
it was Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. But to be fair, Morgan Freeman was in the film.
Wait.
Pretty sure.
Oh wait, no, it wasn't White House Down that he was in. It was in the other one that they did. That's the one with
yeah,
what's his name?
Jared Butler.
Yes. Gerard Butler.
What was that one called?
Let me look. It up.
Anyway,
London Has Fallen. Olympus Has
Yes.
Fallen.
yes,
Olympus.
that's the one.
That's the one where
get it.
Morgan Freeman is president. Oh no, well, he's the speaker. He's not actually the president. He should be. He's God. Come on. You can't get much
Something
better.
just
Yes.
really controversial
Morgan
into
Freeman.
my mind, and I don't know if this will have to be edited out or what, but
should be. Yeah, no, I had to cut that bit out.
So yeah,
Which actually makes me think, like, I've actually mentioned this before. I don't know if it was to you guys, but I definitely mentioned this to, like, other people in, like, my household and what have you. That why is it, so, putting it bluntly, why is it still only old farts running for like, presidency or prime minister or what have you? Where's the younger generation who hopefully has more common sense,
Yeah.
but probably doesn't?
Do you know what I found as an interesting thing with that is I didn't start getting into politics until this year probably, so it's till I was 23. I think that's the case with a lot of people. I think when you're 18 you don't really think about it. You're kind of like, let's go out and get drunk and get hammered, party, woo! And I think when you hit your early 20s you don't even think about it then. You're thinking about jobs and how to get money, and it's not until you're like, I don't know, mid-20s possibly, that you kind of actually start going, I should probably take an interest in this because this is dictating how I live my life.
I still.
Oh, I
take
still
an
couldn't.
interest,
I
you
still
know?
couldn't care less.
Oh yeah, fair, but
It's all rigged.
yeah.
Yep.
Russia. Yeah, no, I don't know. I definitely think we've got it a lot nicer. Not that it's much better, but I think we're definitely better off in the UK than in the United
Well,
States.
in this country, it's just the posh school, the posh boys club who all went to Eton, and
I still can't believe Boris's actual name, like his actual full name. It's insane, Alexandra. What?
You think that's the worst part of it?
No, it's like really posh. And
Alexandra is a girl's name.
literally, okay, I can't remember his full name because it's that posh. But
You think Alexandra is the weirdest part of it?
yes. Well, no.
Alexandria.
I'm pretty sure it's Alexander, not Alexandra.
Yeah, probably. You are probably.
Yeah, he's actually trans.
Yeah, Alexandra Boris D. Piffle Johnson.
Did-
Piffle.
I think it's Peffel.
If that's Pfeffel, that's even worse.
I don't think you pronounce that.
You need to watch
Alexandra Boris de
because
Peffel
he's
Johnson.
related to, what was
No,
it?
Pfeffel.
One of the kings of England. Did you know that?
What?
Related
I'll have
to
an
one of
argument here.
England, so he's basically of royal blood.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Oh, great. So he's inbred as well.
Jesus.
Someone
I
didn't
think
know that.
people who have these positions of power, they should be literally raised from birth for the job.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I think a lot of change needs to happen.
It seems like
Obviously,
they're
you
all
don't-
kind of out of touch with how normal people live their lives. And
Yeah,
I
I think
don't
that's the thing.
care.
Start getting like the problem is people go, oh well, I'm not voting for that because it's a wasted vote, and it's like, well, okay, then start voting for the smaller things. You know, getting someone to get into Parliament and be a part of the House of Lords and stuff. Start voting people in there. That's how you start making change. Not by going, I'm going to elect someone that's never going to win in the president or prime minister election because I want them to win. It just doesn't work like that. You have to have that party rise before they even have a chance of having someone sit in that power seat. So,
Hmm.
but yes, interesting.
Interesting thing.
Anyone else got anything that they would like to discuss or talk about? Whether it's gaming, film, anything, life, how to make a cup of tea properly,
Why are you looking at me?
anything.
It's
Oh, yeah.
water. It's water first, not milk first.
Well,
Absolutely.
it's teabag first.
Well, yeah, because
Sugar first, tea bag, water, milk. That's how I make mine.
Yes, no, that's
Yeah, but if you
exactly.
put milk in it first, who?
The people who do that are fucking broken. Okay.
that
Get out of here.
that has sprouted from when you'd put the milk in and the tea is already brewed in the teapot, and then you pour the tea into the milk, not making it fresh in the cup and waiting
Oh,
for
yeah.
it first. But yeah, some people do that. Which
You
is
certainly don't do it
stupid.
the American ladies' way of microwaving
Oh,
the
no.
water
Mm,
and then
Why is
putting
that?
the milk in,
seen that.
and then the sugar, and then the tea.
I've seen
Ah,
that.
Random
They-
woman that
it
made
is-
this. If you ever see this, you are f***ed in the head.
Because, for the most part, they don't brew tea in boiling water. It's more.
Has everyone actually seen that?
Don't put it in the fucking
yeah.
microwave.
Yeah, I was
No, I mean
trying.
that's what they do. They have it warm. They don't have it boiling, which means it's not.
That's how you make
tea.
English hot tea.
That's how you do beans on toast.
Oh
Get
yeah,
a
the
mixing
beef
bowl.
Soggy bread.
Make an entire tea, like hot, like instant tea mixture,
No.
and just make 8 cups of it.
Do you want to know how we make tea in
Of
in
sugar.
Britain? Simple as you put the tea bag in, pour some hot water, a little bit of milk, stir it around, have some sugar if you fancy it. There you go. It's
Little
not
bit
hard.
of milk. Mine
Or
is
it
half
wants to
milk.
go a
Don't-
little bit in
don't
more
fucking
detail.
leave
Should
me
be
in your
leaving
class.
the tea
Have
bag
whatever
in
you
the
want.
water for at least 3 minutes instead of.
No, 3 seconds for me. Okay. Do not lump
Oh,
us
no.
all together.
I
in
learned
some
that when I was
posh
doing
tea
catering,
club.
alright? You're supposed to leave the tea
Some
bag
people
in
like
the
I like
milk
it
tea
water for
really
at least
strong
3
brew.
minutes.
No,
Personal
I'm
preference.
That's
yelling.
like,
Personal
That's-
preference. That is what it comes down to.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I'm sick and tired of not being called non-British because I don't have my tea the correct way.
there's no right way to have tea.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Well, you're just basically having hot milk with a dunk of a tea bag
I've said that.
Well, I like to drink my tea when I'm in the mood for it, or just right then and there when I'm making it, not half an hour later after I wait for it to cool.
You're clearly not British, because if you were British, you would want tea all the time. Like, there's never a time you don't want tea.
I like tea, but I don't want it all the time, especially in this bloody weather.
Exactly.
Weird. I just...
Although, I would
Green
have
tea.
iced tea.
I drink
Iced tea.
water, tea, and occasionally a black coffee. That's it.
That's why you have
Very
tea
rare
all the time.
occasions
You
I
don't
have
drink
alcohol
anything
and
else.
Coke.
Yeah.
Iced tea is
Are you
weird.
drinking it now, James?
Very rare occasions I have alcohol and Coke.
Iced tea is weird.
It's lovely.
Have you tried
I tried to-
flavoured iced tea?
I tried
Peach is my
lemon iced
favourite.
tea, and it was
Peach.
really weird.
Bubble tea is lush. It's a good one.
Ugh.
That's what I had at Wackerman. Well, the
Yeah,
peach iced tea, not
bubble
bubble tea.
I got
Bubble
sherbet.
tea is nice as well.
Delicious. Yeah, it's good. Like it. Need to go.
It's which flavour I like.
I think that's... Oh, go on.
It's the
Lychee.
milky one, which is melon flavour with lychee balls.
Yeah,
I
no,
knew it was going to be
balls.
lychee.
Lychee balls. That sounds terribly wrong if you take it out of context.
Although I was a bit upset yesterday. I was hoping
Put
to
the
have
gatto down.
lychees. I didn't get any lychees at all yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm looking forward to is when Cardiff opens up and stuff. Is that we all go out on a nice day out. We all get some lovely bubble tea. Oh, hopefully, do you know what? I'm hoping Cardiff is open by the time Winter Wonderland can come out, and hopefully with restrictions.
Cardiff is open. Primark's open.
Well, Cardiff's
Right.
open because Primark's open. One shop. That makes Cardiff
Think of when it's
open.
Primark.
And your
The whole
grocers,
thing
and
is
the
Primark.
coffee shops, and the other clothes shops.
Yeah, but you know, Winter
Okay.
Are
Wonderland.
you enjoying
might
that
not-
gatto?
What about St. David's?
Winter Wonderland might not happen.
Enjoying your gatto.
Tasty.
It's not a ghastly gatto like I'm Dead by Daylight.
Pardon me.
It doesn't
I
give
guess
me
not.
XP.
Does it give you 104% extra flavour?
Yeah.
My only experience with bubble tea was having someone throw it at me and it just went down my top and just it was sticky for ages. Like not the whole drink, just like the little things.
I don't think I've ever had bubble tea.
No. Next time you
Question
come
is,
down.
are there actually bubble
Just
tea
on the
shops?
train, just digging around for it.
Mhm.
Fucking Cardiff, just filled with animals.
Anything
Yes. Do you think we should pop an end to it there, or should we?
You can do. Unless anyone else has got anything else they'd like to talk about.
Nothing.
Robin's currently engrossed.
Such good ghetto.
Shaggy
Nom,
could
nom,
Like
be
she's
in it.
eating
Yeah,
kebab.
I'm choosing everybody done having a nice
I can't get comfortable in my chair. Please help.
To be fair, Shaggy's chair is comfortable for about an hour. Then your
What
arse
do you mean
goes
for about an hour? I
Then
can sit in
again-
this thing all day.
I couldn't. My arse went dead after 5 minutes.
You
Like,
sat in his chair? The
yeah.
nerve.
Yeah, no, he offered it to me and I sat in it.
You're
It's
used
not
to
so
uncomfortable surfaces.
Well,
To be fair, when you first started there, it was like the middle of summer last year, so it was fucking horrible.
it was very. My back was very soaky wet. Not good.
So it was a warm chair then, was it?
It's practically leather, or like a more like a vegan, vegetarian friendly. I would assume at this day and age of technology. Even basically, it's heat absorbent, very heat absorbent.
Oh,
Put
so
it that
so right now in that chair is a lot of James's back sweat.
No, because it's been a year since then.
Probably still in there somewhere.
Lovely. I was a lot fatter back then, mate. That's a lot of sweat.
The essence of it is still there.
I hope not.
Well, well, on that cheerful note that Robin has finished her food and that my back sweat is still festering in Shaggy's chair, we shall end the podcast there.
She offered me none.
Thank you very much, everyone who took the time to watch
I
it.
would have. If I
And
had
cringe
time
at the
to
ending.
somehow to deliver it to you.
Has
Let
everyone,
James finish.
has everyone
The
enjoyed
fourth
it?
counts.
That's the main thing. Has everyone had a good time while they've been here?
Yes, helps to have a few drinky poos.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you have told me to calm down, so.
You're fine. Go nuts.
Yeah, you said that, go nuts, then you were like, alright, chill.
Chill, bro.
Got very mixed signals
I
from you.
turned, I
don't know
turned
how
into
to
Brad
behave.
for a second. Just chill, man. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, no. Thank you to everyone that has watched. Bit of an announcement. There won't be a podcast next week. Me and Sean are going to take a week off. from doing it. This is simply because I'm actually going to be over Vix anyway, and to be honest, we're kind of running out of to talk about. Like, stuff has gone a bit stale because it's just the same stuff over and over. So we want to give it a week, let stuff go back up. I know, Sean, I believe you're busy as well next Friday,
like
Saturday.
Family party coming up and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's just a bit easier. We don't want to rush it. We want to keep doing the podcast for fun and enjoy it. We don't want to have to rush to get it done.
We'll do a video of all the cut
fun.
stuff from this episode for you.
One thing. Maybe I'll do like a thing with Vic next week or something. Like a kind of podcast thing of just like playing that Our Moments game. So just keep asking each other questions from it or something. I don't know. I'll think of something.
Do you think people are interested?
Probably not, but we can watch back on it in 2 years' time and be like, yeah, we were so happy back then.
I'd like that.
This is what we had to do during lockdown.
But yeah, hopefully everyone enjoyed. Again, thank you very much to Shaggy and Robin and Vic for joining myself and Sean. As always, thank you to Sean for joining me as well for the podcast. And everyone else.
Thanks for having me.
Hope you all enjoyed. And yeah, we'll see you in the next podcast that we do, which will be not next week, the week after. But yeah, thank you for watching. And from all of us here, we love you and goodbye.
Goodbye.